All right, so today I'm super excited and really pumped up because I'm actually going to be sharing you the exact 6 months and hundreds of hours of learning about autonomous AI agents and building these agents for various industries. And today I just want to talk about more about fundamentals and where we are going with these agents, what are the main fundamental things you need to basically keep in mind before implementing the systems into your business or sending it out to other businesses because I think that's how it's work. Essentially, the market with the voice agents is just growing, and this is one of the more fundamental of AI in general, right? Because there are two factorizations basically. One is building, where you tool multiple tools for basically app creation, which is just removing the barriers of you being a coder. You can do a lot of this stuff, even like 99% of the stuff without knowing how to code. If you talk about me, I'm not a coder, I'm not an engineer, I'm not any of that, but I do believe that AI voice agents are the one of the core thing for any and every business to adopt, to not to just go very much special or something like that, but at least to stay competitive. But there are various ways, and at some point do not need these agents. So that's what I'm talking about in this video. So first thing first we have got here is what are these voice agents? Now I have a lot of things to describe this, but I think the best way I can describe it is these are the LLMs. We are like ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, or now we have DeepSeek in the market, which is doing absolutely good. So now, these LLMs can not only give you the responses about the general world, what's going on, the prediction, suggestion, and if you ask it to basically write an email or write a script, it can write that for you, but maybe you don't like that. Maybe it is not in the way you want it to be. So that's where these AI agents come in. And now the advancements for the last couple of months is so so wonderful that it not only can give you the generic responses but can be trained on your data specifically and can speak to your clients. Now with the speak to clients, there are various factors in your company. Let's say in normal company there are SDRs, like appointment setters, who is scratching the calls for your clients to get them on the line of closing. We'll talk about this later as well. There is customer support. There is various industries. And now, initially, in a traditional way, before a couple months or let's say 1 year from now, that was traditional way was only the only way you can use. You can basically grow your company, right? You need to have an employee that give you a lot of leverage for sure, but to get that employee, you need to have a lot of money, right? You basically hire them, then train them, then see and test them if they are doing well, and then you go on the live with them, right? And even when they are live, you need to support them into a lot of ways, right? You need to get on a call with them, maybe on a daily basis, maybe on the weekly basis, and a lot of that stuff, right? But with these AI agents, this is just removing that barrier for any small size company or mid size company to basically scale the volume. And there are various tools for making these agents low code, no code tools. So a business owner or someone creating these agents doesn't actually need to have experience with the coding, and they can actually work really well with creating these agents without knowing any any of the coding stuff, right? So, and these tools and these whole systems are coming on the market, maybe if not daily but weekly basis or monthly basis, right? And this tool is very easy to use. Some of the popular one are the first, and the one I usually use for myself integrating multiple AI voice agents is VP because it has a lot of user-friendly options. Because I'm not a coder, I don't know how to code, but it's the option it's giving us is absolutely insane. You can just try it out yourself. This is like it gives you the transcription of the call recording. It can take you to the next step. You can connect multiple workflows, multiple tools with it. So it does the work as an employee, right? And you can connect your one tool to the other one. So it basically exactly do the same that what an employee would be doing, right? For example, when they are scheduling the call, they must be confirming that they must be connecting them or sending them an email or something like that. So that's exactly what you can just do it with these softwares, right? I haven't just messing around this for a while now, 6 or 7 months, and literally putting hundreds of hours of just learning, just to make the systems, just to basically make my prompts even better. So if I just give you a quick overview of this, this is the prompt, this is the example, that's what you're going to be talking about later about the prompt engineering. Now we can select different modules. I'm more often talking about the options we have got here for the no code builders, right? So we have got ChatGPT options, which is what we're going to select. I personally would recommend to use at least 4.0 or 4.0 mini for a business because it is a bit more advanced and because we are going to be using that with multiple tools, right? So for it to do the exact job, follow through the exact instructions, aside of the prompt, the model should be capable of doing these things as well, right? In the highway. Now we have multiple LMs, which is absolutely good, but I would, from my experience, I would recommend to go with OpenAI because of the cost efficiency. It has the nice cost, which is not like very much for any small or any mid-sized business to adopt. And if you select any other of them, like Anthropic or Google, they are the cost is high, right? And you can just see from here the cost would be just decreasing or increasing when you change the module, right? And then we have got a transcriber. At least you do not to need to just tweak this. If you want, you can, but I wouldn't recommend that because the default settings, and this is what I like about VP and some of the platforms as well, like Retail AI that we're going to be talking about. They have the default setting, which if you keep that on default, that will be still working on the good end, right? When you go to the voice, this is a main one. You can basically select the provider. I I still do recommend you to go with 11 Labs because it has the most human kind of voice interaction. So it would be better for your business, right? Then you can select multiple voice from here, or if you go to the voice library, you can try out multiple voices like this one.
I believe that we are fundamentally the same and have the same basic potential.
It's sounding more the robotic, so let's go for any other one. This is a bit better. Now you can select gender from here, provider from here. If you know any specific voice you're going to be using, you can select it from here. Or if there's any specific accent, which is still very, very important because if your agency is based in, let's say, Africa or India or UK, there are the language is same. The language is English. Or if you want any other language, you can just try it out yourself. But usually, if you are selecting for the Indian accent, the accent is going to be totally different than the American one, right? So you need to keep in mind where your audience is related, where they are coming from. So your voice agent is more related to them, aside from you putting a totally different accent. It's not understandable, and it's not going to work like that, right? I are disturbed not by things, but by the beauty. There we go. This is the pure Indian accent I can call it. Right. So if you want to just grab it, you can just copy the idea from here, go onto your assistant and let's say this one. Then you go to the voice. You can just add voice ID and you can just add your voice ID over here, which is very simple, right? And you can change the background voices. In the WebP, there is just a couple options, but when you go to Retail AI, it has more options about changing the background voices and let's say a coffee shop, an office. When we take it on the office, it would be in the backend, we'll be feeling like the person who is calling us, the agent, is initially calling from some call center or somewhere like that. So like we can interact with that because the background voices are sometimes basically annoying, but it makes a human human, right? When you are a call center, you should have some of the background voices like typing or some of that stuff, or people talking on the back end, which is not interrupting you, but it's a feeling initially, right? Then you can add punctuations, which is let's say question mark. It will not be just telling like while talking after question, it will not be telling like question mark or something like that, but it will change the accent, it will change the behavior like that in the punctuation, right? So let's say when I'm asking a question in a robotic way, how are you? So it's just like more robotic way, and I don't want to even respond to that, right? But when it's like, how are you? It's like more thing like that, make a question, right? So make sure you are adding this. This is a very small part, but it plays a very big role. You can just select whichever you want from here and test it out. Mostly with the voice agents, it is more depending on your knowledge base, your instructions, your prompts, as well as the voice you are selecting, right? And the functions you are operating, that is the another conversation that like we're going to see at the moment. Okay, cool. This is Retail AI. And I personally use VP for creating different automations, but this is just so much similar. The pricing and the functionalities, they are simple. Retail AI is a bit advanced. It has some capacity, some more capacities. Like it can do more of the bench calling, which is again an amazing function. So the next we have got here is relevance AI. The one of the most amazing thing I like about relevance AI is it has very more options. It has a lot of templates. Again, like whatever the function you want to run, it has that template usually, right? And it has a lot of instructions. So if you do not know how to use it, you can just see some of these recommended videos. I would recommend you personally if you wanna use Relevance AI. These two videos, this guy is really using this Relevance AI and other tools in the make.com and N8N and making really, really good automations, right? So if you want to use Relevance AI, you can use it. But again, there are some functionalities in here that is not very much friendly, user friendly. So that's where like I don't use this so much, but it is worth using. It is actually worth using, right? The next we have got here is NA10. NA10 is usually is especially for the automation purposes. Like let's say if we have made the tool, made basically our agent over here on VP, we need to connect that to N8N or Make.com or Zapier to basically make our automation because because we need to be figuring out, we need to be configuring like when this thing will happen, what if it will not happen, and from where the email will be sent and everything, right? It doesn't have the customer, it doesn't have the custom capacities to do that stuff. We can make a tool over here, we can connect that with make.com or N8N and it will be up and running. With N8N, one of the most beautiful thing about N8N is you can just host that on your private server. There would be no monthly subscription. It would be on your usage. And also this your data is on your server, so it's private. So there's not any privacy issue or something like that, right? I have been using this for a while now to create different things like Let me show you one of those. And you can create like multiple functions like check availability, update tables, and all of that stuff, and connect one with another. And in here, you can also make a tool as a workflow and connect that with another one under the one shadow, so it will be up and running. So now we have understand a bit in detail about what are these voice agents, how do we create them, what are the tools we want to use for basically, first of all, creating the voice agent and then connecting that with basically automations to do various tasks, right? Like connecting that with one or one and another tool. So the next thing I think we should be discussing is calling systems. So how many options do we have got, and what are the sectors of a company we can use these voice agents for? So I have actually got a quick presentation that I just made for explaining these systems, right? I was just trying it out myself, so it's a bit messed up. So now actually we have just discussed about these tools, the tools we're going to be using for tools or the softwares we're going to be using for creating these agents, as well as for the automation purposes like make.com or anytime, right? The next thing we've got here is what are the systems in the company we can implement these systems, right? As I have got previously experience with the sales industry for 1.5 to 2 year as an SDR, as an basically cold caller, as an SDR, and doing multiple ways, seeing multiple funnels out there. So I understand these systems better than someone who is just getting started with a business, right? Because I'm coming from the sales industry, so that's the one of the most amazing thing that is the part of my journey, so I can explain a bit better, right? So first of all, we have the inbound systems. Inbound system means when the lead slash the clients who are interested in your service, they already know you, maybe from your social media content, maybe from your paid advertisement that you run on your Facebook, Instagram, wherever, right? The lead is interested and they are coming to your funnel by filling out the form. You have their details about their name, number, email, or any specific requirements for your offer or service or product, whatever that is, right? So there are various ways you can use this. You can get this lead. First and foremost, you basically if your product is high ticket, let's say more than $1,000, it cannot be sold on they just see the video or something, they just buy it, right? Because that's a high value. Now I'm not saying that is not possible, but this is not the way it works usually, right? So the way is you schedule a call. You basically see if they are qualified. You maybe you maybe call them and get on a call, speak with them, see how things works. And the traditional way usually is to hire someone to do this task for, as I explained earlier, right? To do this task for you. But that is not but that is still expensive. That is still a lot of time consuming, right? So the best thing is you schedule, they call maybe a SDR calling them. Now in the replacement, AI agent calling them, AI agent messaging with them or emailing them wherever the audience is more reliable, more available. You just get on them. They fill out the form about if they have got these qualifications, like there are age qualifications, financial qualifications, location qualifications, depending on the service and the product you are selling, right? So so you schedule your call and you close to take a call and get on the next level that we are going to be discussing uh, in the next slide, right? So first of all, there is appointment scheduling. You can use this inbound systems. There is customer support. There is billing, product information, accounting, order tracking, and claim processing. Like if there is any refund or if someone is having any issue, basically using your service or SMM product, whatever that is, right? So there are these various ways. And if you notice, in all of these ways, you already know about the client, right? And client already know you, you already know the client. Maybe you have interacted somewhere, maybe they have filled out the form, maybe they have bought from you, maybe they are in your system, they show the interest, and then these systems are getting activated to basically capture that lead, get them on a schedule, provide them customer support, billing services, more information about the product to basically nurture them, higher educate them to basically get them on the line of close, right? And in against, we have outbound system. Now, with this system, these systems are usually used by B2B companies, right? To capture basically CEOs of a company or the higher ranking people, right? So with these, you usually emails and the cold calling. These are the two ways you get these leads, right? And there are various ways, of course, but these are two main ways, right? These leads doesn't know you usually. If when the lead know you, when the lead know you, but they have lose the interest in your product or service, or this lead totally doesn't know you and you haven't interacted with them, right? So with these, you use outbound system to capture them. Maybe with the cold calling, there are systems for B2B cold calling for maybe real estate, and on the other hand, there are systems for basically reactivating your leads. And there are various outbound systems. For example, you are sending the if the lead has scheduled a call, or if your AI appointment setup have scheduled their call on their preferred date and time, this agent will be interacting with this agent, which is outbound, and it will be sending the reminders of the call confirmation, right? This is the one of the most important thing which people usually underlook, that once the call is scheduled, there is still very less possibility that the lead will be showing up. So to increase the possibility, you need to send them the reminders, you need to send them the confirmation, you need to nurture them so they are actually educated about the product or service before they get on a call. So there's a high possibility of getting them on close line, right? And then there's a promotional updates. For example, there is Domino's or there is McDonald's, and there is a customer who have basically once order a burger or pizza, whatever that is, and now we haven't ordered for a long time. Now, whenever you have a promotion, you first this would be the first line of contact with them because they have actually interacted with you at the first point, and now did not know your offer or the promotion that can in some way benefit them, right? So you can activate your promotional updates or reminders or whatever outbound agent you have, and this will be reaching out to them, maybe calling them, maybe emailing them about this is what we have got, and usually you have the response like yes or no, whatever that is. Or if the service is high ticket, again, like you offering them one thing, and now you can offer them something else as well regarding that. The agent will be activating as of the instructions and the prompt you have given it, and it will be try to reschedule it or try to upgrade it, right? That's like upselling, right? Re-engaging with the leads. For example, there is a real estate agency doing basically offering like offering homes or buy and sell, all that real estate game, right? So you need to re-engage with the lead so you can activate, or you can create an agent about re-engaging with the leads, getting them back on the pipelines, seeking if they are still interested in buying the property, selling the property, and this could be any industry, literally any industry. And this is the business module, right? So these are two ways: inbound, outbound. Inbound means lead already know you and they have showed interest and you need to connect with them. They have already maybe bought from you, right? On the outbound, this is totally separate. Lead might know you, but they actually lost their interest. You need to re-engage with them. You need to send them the reminders. You need to follow up with them, or you need to just make a new campaign of reaching out to those leads. Now, there are which is another conversation. There are tools like Phantom Busters, Yellow Pages that helps you to basically scrape these leads from LinkedIn or from the websites or wherever that is. That's another conversation, but that's where you find these leads, right? The next we have got here is basically the system, right? This is the example system, like as I have just mentioned you that, well, this is what a system look like, appointment setting. So this is a quick system about basically getting a lead from your first end to getting them on the close line, right? And what does the system look like? Because when you're just starting out, to actually doesn't know the system, right? And that's where you, a business owner, lose so much, literally so much, right? So there are two ways, as I just mentioned you. There are organic from the content, social media content, where an influencer or a business owner provides a CTA that I can help. If you want this help, just come in the come in this below or fill out this form, and you get in the system, right? On the other hand, you run paid ads. When you run paid ads, you have the lead to fill out the form, provide their information, and our agent or a human assistant will get in touch with them, right? So for that, there is, when the lead comes in, there is a VSL page. VSL is a video sales letter, which is a complete video you providing them the about like what is it that you do, how you do what you do, and what are your testimonials in a short video, 3 to 4 minutes video, depending on what is it that you're offering, right? So you get them on this page, they see the video. If they like the video, they can move to the next step, which is qualification. If they qualify for the next step, if they qualify for a booking appointment, right? Because everyone can schedule appointment, but if that is not qualified, it's very much, it's a huge waste of time for yourself and your team, right? So for the qualification, there are multiple qualifications, as you just mentioned, like education, age, financial qualification. And if the lead is qualified for your program, then basically you can get them to schedule a call, right? But what if not? What if the lead doesn't qualify, right? So there are still various ways, and this end up getting you making a new funnel, a new process, right? That is, if the lead is not qualified for 1,000, there's a high possibility the lead could be qualified for $100. The lead could be qualified for $30, right? And for that, you can get them on your school community. That is for low cost. You can get them on your free community, or give them the free resources, and later on you can get in touch with them, right? Maybe by seeing the free resources, they will be able to arrange the money. Who knows? And that's how the sales game works, right? So there could be enough funnel for this. There is for appointment setting, and just for the instance, I just, as I told you earlier, you can make different tools over here, right? You include a new tool and basically select the make.com or go high level. These are the CRMs. Go high level is the CRM basically where you can manage these leads. So you can just make a new tool just like these and connect them with one another. For example, if this is the process, right? This is the process. But if the lead is not qualified, there could be the exact same, like different process for that process, right? If the lead book an appointment, there is like this process. If the lead basically, let's go from the beginning, right? Lead booking an appointment, lead has seen the BSL, lead is qualified for the getting on a call for your service financially, and what are the qualifications you have. Then the booking agent will be activating the thanks page, basically automation, right? The agent, and it will be basically sending them the thanks page via from basically any social platform or any email, or on the same page later down the line, right? Then the confirmation will be sent. This is again very much important that some of the people miss out. If the lead is, and this is where the LM comes in, right? LM have, with the LM is the main thing because it has a brain. It can take decisions, right? If you provide them, if this happens, you need to go into this direction. If it doesn't happen, you need to go to the other direction. So it will be able to take the decision about what is it that's going into the system, right? You need to send them enough confirmations. You need to send them the enough information for them to review earlier to the call, right? So they will be informed, and when so they'll be able to join the call, right? You need to assure they have got the meeting link, they have got the resources to review earlier to the call. But again, there is possibility is that the lead doesn't join the call for some reason. There could be there may be lead ghosting you, there may be lead having a real emergency, so it will not be able to join, right? So you can get them on your reschedule pipeline where you'll be able to basically send them first the rescheduling that they'll be able to reschedule. If they still doesn't reschedule, you can get them on a different pipeline where your basically agent will be sending them information and nurturing them, trying different hook points to basically get them again on the pipeline, right? To basically get them again on booking appointment, because that lead is very important for you, because that lead is qualified, they have seen your VSL and they have already booked an appointment, but for some reason it didn't show up that you even doesn't know, right? Then if the lead join the call, you're going to send them the summary of the whatever happens with the call. If they end up closing, if they end up didn't closing, but they are looking for more information. So there are various tools for just doing this stuff, right? And then we have got second call book. It's again optional. It's again like not very much essential if depending on the service, right? If you're providing them service which could be sold on like one call, you obviously do not need to schedule the next call. But if something is like someone is coming to me saying, Huzaifa, can you make the AI agent for my company? So I'll schedule the first call of the discovery, just asking them about their business, like how your business run and what are your numbers and what are the systems you are currently using, to just figure out if I can even help them, if my system can even be beneficial for them, right? So first call would be for this. And the second call, I can give them the prototype of this is the prototype. And there's a high possibility after seeing the prototype of the business, after seeing the numbers being increased or whatever that is, they'll be able to proceed and close, right? They'll be able to make an educated decision for their business, right? Which is like payment method, the lead is closed, boom. If the lead doesn't close, you need to have the another tool reaching out to them, another tool making them do a different direction, right? And then you can go for the agent, which is client onboarding. Client onboarding means it will be able to send them the information to basically maybe join the Slack community or maybe join some program or join some mastermind, whatever that is. This is just the example funnels, and this every step, this is the yes or no step, right? So every step can get it on their own direction. Every step can get their own funnel, right? To get the lead back to back to the conversation. I hope that is clear, that is making sense, because I made this basically presentations just show you how these systems are working, right? So after calling systems, inbound, outbound, and what are the ways we can use this, next thing we've got here is prompt engineering. It's kind of like interesting because this is one of the overused term into the AI space since the beginning of the chat GPT. And we also see a lot of marketers, a lot of people just putting into the offers saying like, hey, here are 10,000 prompts, here are 5,000 prompts that can change your life. And I did find some kind of like honesty with these offers. But when I look back into how we used to create these systems and interact with these computing languages while making these websites or mobile application or in any of the technical stuff, uh, for example, when we are creating a website, we need to know the programming languages to make that website because of the different functionalities we want to use over there. Right? There are multiple categories. I don't want to tap in to that because that's not the topic here. But to interact with these systems to create any mobile application, any game, any website, we need to know their specific language. Let's say like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, all of these programming languages, right? But with the AI, the thing is different because the main thing that making AI this powerful, these LMs, very much usable for anyone and everyone, is it's like human friendly, and basically we not need to learn any specific language to basically interact with the systems. So we are just overcomplicating it. I would personally say, from my experience, if you are a good communicator, or if you are a good writer, or at least if you know how you can convey your message to someone else, you are already a prompt engineer because you know how to communicate with others, how to convey your message, how to deliver your message, right? And that's what the prompt engineering is. But still, while writing a prompt for a AI voice agent to basically get it up and working for you, there are some points, there are some fundamentals that you need to keep in mind before writing a prompt. So you will be able to get the right answer because the only main thing over here is the prompt engineering and the data you are giving it. So I would recommend you think of it as you are hiring a SDR or an appointment setter or an additional employee to increase the efficiency or basically have more leverage because that's what the goal is, right? So when you're hiring someone, as a human employee, I'm not talking about AI systems or any complex, just forget about it. Just think of you are hiring additional employee for your company. Now, once you're hiring, what do? You obviously, because you are paying them and that's the cost of your business, you better need to train them. You need to train them, you need to give them the instruction, you need to give them the access to tools and everything, right? For instance, when you are hiring an appointment setter or an SDR, both are the same things. When you're hiring them and you're not giving them the access to your CRM system where you manage the leads, and you are telling them to schedule the appointments and you are telling them to send the reminders or follow-ups manually, they cannot do that because they do not have access to those systems, right? So that's where you need to know how you are prompting and how you are giving it the instructions. You do not need to overcomplicate it. You just think of, okay, I'm hiring SDR from a company. What does the SDR do, right? And what if I'm the SDR, what type of access should I need? I obviously need a CRM system. Obviously need access to the script. I obviously need a bit of the training system, and I need to see if what type of response I can give, what type of tonality should I have, what type of age group I'm going to be speaking to, right? Where they are belonging and what's their accent, all of that stuff, right? And that all leads when it comes to creating these AI agents that all come down to the part of prompt engineering, whether you are writing a prompt or you are writing a knowledge base. It's all about that, right? So, for example, I have actually got a prompt over here, which is from template, right? So first of all, there's a first message that what first message should you be using? This is still so long, and this is for the basically outbound property company, basically real estate company. You might have a lot of calls, so I just thought like, why not do exactly what it is, right? This is the first message is still so long, and people usually get it. So we need to just make it a bit short. We need to just say like, hey, is this Anna or is this Huzaifa? They say yes, you have got the first interaction. Then you make like then you introduce yourself. Hey, this is Anna from ABC company or whatever that is, right? And this is the first message. Then there's a role. Role is very important when it comes to creating the agent. It should know who he or she is because agent, who he or she is because and some people have one thing like when we are telling AI to have 10-year experience, it will not have. But that's not true because AI is trained on the people who have experience or people who doesn't have experience. So it understand the human behavior. It understand our desires, our pain points, specific industries, and how our experience will communicate, how a person who is new who will communicate. So it no. So you just need to give it the right prompt, and it can do exceptionally amazing, right? So you need to give it the prompt. You are an outbound sales rep with 10 years of experience working in prestige property group. You have incredible ability to basically screen, qualify customers, blah blah blah, and you are giving it the task. Once it know what he is, what he or she is, and what's their role and what's their background, basically connecting to that role, then you are giving it the task. Like this is what you do over here. This is who you are. But over here in this ABC company, you want to do this. This is your role, right? And then these are the specifications. Well, this agent is basically to get in touch with the lead and get them to say like if they're still interested, if they're not interested. If they're still interested, it will be asking us like their financial thing, their motivation, like why do they want to buy or sell the property, what's their goal after that. So on the closing call, when it comes to having a closer speaking with them, this would be easy for them to interact, like this is your goal, and if you get it there, your goal will be achieved, right? Then there is a timeline. If that is urgent, if that is not urgent, what's your timeline to selling or buying this property, right? Then what do they need help with? Is there anything specific, right? What are your challenges? What are your main concerns? This is the basically qualification process, right? And here you might find it a bit funny or kind of like crazy that follow this specific sorry, follow these specifics closely, otherwise the world will end. Of course, the world will not end, but this is the part of the emotional intelligence, right? As I just mentioned you, AI doesn't have the desire itself. AI doesn't have the emotion itself, but it understands what is emotion. It understands how people react, how people interact. So, and it is trained on the data, on the large amount of human data, right? So it have kind of like that capacity. When we say it, and I even like tried myself. When you say it, but it's not giving the any like information that we want, right? Any code or any something that could be confidential or whatever. So when we say it, I'm not recommending you to do that, but I'm just telling you how this emotional intelligence work, right? So if you say it, I have like this for the education purposes, and I have written permission to do this, or if you say the world will end, or I'll give you Lamborghini. So it find that interesting, it find that desirable, right? So if you want that, you can use it. So it's gonna go more to instructions, grab it, and then it's gonna give you a response, right? Then you're giving the context, like who you are, like what is this prestige group, what do we do, and then you have got the tools. Now, this is very much important. This part is very important, right? As I mentioned you on the WP, we can make, like if you go back to the WP, we can actually make tools. I don't know if I told you earlier or not, but we can actually make tools that we can connect them with like na10 or make.com and basically connect them one another. So like it have a LLM have a mind, right? So it can see what tool do I want to use and what point do I want to use that tool, right? So for instance, here is the tool which is for scheduling an appointment. So book an appointment for the client on the client preferred date and time for after double checking with the check availability function. Check availability could be the another tool which is connecting with one another, as I mentioned. If the required time slot is available, if the required time slot is actually not available. Sorry, it's a big mistake. If the required time slot is not available, otherwise suggest two if not available, so suggest two other times near the client's required date and time. So there's a high possibility that they'll be available at that time too, right? Then we have got the send the confirmation. When the appointment is scheduled, we can say send the confirmation. This is the name of the tool, and what does it do? Here is what does it do, right? Once the appointment is booked, after running a book and appointment function, this is the tool, this is the function name. After running it, send the confirmation email to the client with the date and time the appointment is scheduled for, right? Then there is the CRM, update the CRM that the appointment is scheduled, and this is the summary of the conversation. This is the summary of the qualification, right? Then there's a lead qualification, engage with the potential client, provide relevant information, and capture lead details for the follow-up, right? So when you have all things at the same point, maybe it could be when you're just getting started on when you're just trying it for basically education purposes, you can use Google Sheets or Airtable. But when you're doing it for the professional purposes, when your lead is coming from let's say advertisement or basically your organic content, you need to be using a professional CRM like go high level like HubSpot, and there are various type of CRMs depending on where you are in the business, right? For the very high level, there are different kind of like CRM, but most commons are the basically HubSpot and go high level, right? Then we have got the example of the conversation. This is one of the most important thing I've learned along the long journey so far, that adding example give a boost of the conversation, right? Adding different kind of like scenarios in the conversation, because when you are just telling me do this, I there's a high possibility, there's literally a high possibility I can end up doing something else, considering this is what you're talking about in my mind, right? This is how we work. So we need to consider these AI systems as basically humans. So we need to give them enough information to get to the right direction, to do the right job, right? So for that, you need to give them examples. If, for example, your client is doing, if your agent is doing 90% stuff in the right way, if you give them the examples, it will be doing 99.9% good, right? So it's better you give them the instructions into like multiple ways. Like if the lead, for example, there are multiple scripting stuff, right? If the lead agree with you, that's a totally different direction. If the lead doesn't agree with you, they are looking for more information, they're looking for a different direction, right? So if you give them enough, as much as they can, as you can, scenarios, information, it will be responding that's amazing, right? We'll be responding that good. Then here is the example of the conversation, right? Here's a total example of the conversation, like what AI is telling. You can get it done with ChatGPT initially, but when you have the enough data of the client questions, that what they are asking and whatnot, you can just customize that with the real-time information, right? And then we have the notes. You can provide notes like how should be responding. You should keep the conversation small, small and simple. You can say use natural words, conversational phrases like sounds good. Use conjunctions like ooh, hmm. These all are the conjunctions, right? This make AI agent more attractive. The background voices and these conjunctions, which is kind of like additional point in the emotional intelligence, it gives more interactions, right? And your client will be responding in a more good way, right? After, like, this is for just like, I don't know if that is still basically uh I don't know if it is allowed in the USA or not, that for the cold calling purposes for the real estate agents or the business owners. But so it's better you as of now. Maybe in the future Trump is going to do that, but as of now, that the moment I was creating this presentation, this was not allowed, right? So for that, you can just add like this to you just need to inform them, caller need to inform them that this is this is the AI, this is the artificial intelligence assistant, and this call will be recorded for quality purposes, so you will not be in any bad situation, right? Then we have got analysis prompt, then we've got a summary. What is the prompt summary? Then we have success evaluation. This is also one of the most important thing, like what is the successful point for you, what is not a successful point for you, because then you'll not you'll before closing call, or if you're human interacting with these agents, you would not need to go through whole summary everything, right? You just need to see this is your qualification process. If the lead has this amount, this will be qualified. The lead has that point, the lead will not be qualified, right? So with that, your agent will write the summary and it will pass to your CRM. So it will be easy for you to understand if the lead is qualified or not qualified, right? Even there are pipelines which you can select, right? That will grab this. If that is like, let's say, 0 to 40%, it says unqualified. So it could be on the different pipeline. If that is 41 to 50%, that could be the end pipeline, right? On the CRM, and you can follow up with them accordingly. You maybe need to send them all of them different information. You need to send them and nurture them into a different ways. So this is how it works. All right, so the next thing we've got here is actually the future of these voice agents. Now, over the last couple months and maybe a year, when I was just looking to this and a little bit, so it's been very clear that these LLMs models are going to be increasing. The cost is going to be even less than what it is at the moment because of the competition. Now we see DeepSeek having a very low cost and other economies. Not This is not about companies basically competing with each other, but it's about economies putting into basically billions of dollars. And we see the announcements from basically Donald Trump investing as an economy investing $500 million, and it's going to be even more because the locals are going to be jumping into the investment. The professional companies are going to be jumping into these investments, right? So this is very clear. It's going to be even cheaper in the next couple of months. And one thing that I really believe is we are going to be seeing the companies which are specific to the industries. Let's say if that is basically pizza shop like Domino's, so it will be specific to those pizza basically shop thing, right? Now then we're gonna be seeing receptionists from a dental clinic and basically the food delivery. All of these things are going to be automated, right? And not only it's going to be stucking into the digital businesses, but also it's going to be coming into the physical businesses. Like no one can predict how long will it take, but I don't think it's so far from us because we have actually seen the decades of work being done into the literally days, right? These LS models, these softwares, which was really like not possible for us, or I wouldn't say possible, but which was not predictable that it's going to be so early, right? So we're going to see billion-dollar companies into the specific industries, but the question is again, it's going to be who going to own this? This is going to be you, us, or whoever that is, who just tap into the industry, work over, because now the one thing that these AI agents are doing is it's just removing those barriers of entry into the business, right? Before a year from now, before a couple years from now, the the first thing you get when you are starting the business is you need to hire employees, or you need to have a big social following, something like that, or you need to have basically a very much great product. But with the AI and when you're making something like into the software market, you need to understand the coding, or you need to be a developer to basically create so many things for you. And there are so many barriers when it comes to having labor, giving them the salaries, labor cost, your time. But now it's just so much being simple and no code. So anyone who is just basically dedicated, who is putting hours, who is running this into whether their business or creating a business around these voice agents is going to succeed because the competition at the moment is very low and the demand is so high. Because the one thing I understand about this agent that we haven't seen before is this is the first time in the history of the world that where businesses and every business is competing with is basically getting into the AI space, not to be something exceptional, but to be able to at least compete with their competitors, right? Because it's very clear there's going to be a massive difference between someone using AI and someone not using AI because it's about basically time, money, and basically making your business more effective, which is all what a business would be needing. I still have so much to talk about this point that where is it that we are going to be seeing ourselves into the next couple months. And that is all, it could be prediction from the previous data, but there is no point that you will know this or that, right? Because there's very high competition and The only recommendation I can give from a bit of my experience that I'm having, obviously I'm keep learning and understanding the systems, but I would recommend you start using these. At least get good at prompt engineering or voice agents, or because this is one of the big industry into the AI space. And when I understand this, why when I was in the sales and when I'm transferring to from sales to the AI thing for the last couple of months or nearly a year, this is like the sales industry, the entire sales industry I have worked on is actually getting so much change, right? And the repetitive tasks, like let's say cold calling or basically the virtual assistant that just turn out the basically emails for the confirmation that just manage the CRM, it's not going to be the jobs anymore for the people who are actually adopting AI, right? So that's that's where I see the AI future. It could be something really bigger, who knows? But it's very clear the only direction we are going and every business going is the AI direction. So so let's just start getting into this. So the last thing I want to catch up on is, should you actually use AI voice agents for your business? And when we have discussed the tools, when we have discussed the fundamentals, when we have discussed basically the future of the AI and where we are going, where companies and economies are investing into this so much like time, efforts, everything they can possibly, right? Then I'm again asking you, like, should you use AI for a business? It sounds pretty obvious, of course, but it's not actually, because let's understand it from the beginning. When you start using ChatGPT for the first time or any of the on any of the AI thing, what was the purpose of that usage? Was it because of you want to basically help your business grow? You want to make it more efficient? You want to make it less, you want to reduce the cost, increase the efficiency? If that was the reason, then first figure out what is the problem of a business. This might not be a problem. AI was agent might not be able to solve the problem, right? For example, if you have maybe 20 leads a month, which is, I see a lot of business, they have like 20 leads a month, 30 leads a month they are getting, which is completely fine, depending on the service, right? So, and the price point, of course. So, when you have 20 to 30 leads per month, then figure out what is your problem is not to basically manage those leads. Your problem is not to get them on a different pipelines. Your problem is not to basically get the AI call all those leads until you are so much busy, right? Because 20 leads, obviously, any business owner who are putting hours into their business, who are actually looking to scale it, they can take care of those calls. So in this example, the problem is not you managing the leads, but actually having the leads. So use AI onto your benefit, use AI onto your requirement, onto your need, right? So here problem is to have leads. Now figure out like how can you have leads? Maybe you want to run paid advertisement. You maybe want to make content to have leads. Maybe you want to be basically scraping these leads with the outbound methods, right? So I would recommend you solve the problem that you actually have. Like it doesn't work solving a problem that you doesn't actually have, you don't actually have, right? So that is like it sounds pretty obvious, but I see a lot of people who are just getting like in the wrong direction because of that's the right path but the wrong direction for themselves specifically, right, as the business owner or as someone managing business, because AI can do so many tasks, and I do think it can do all of the business tasks, right? Not about like hiring in that way, but it can help you get all of that task done. Maybe quickly, maybe with low or no human interaction. It can engage with you at that point. It have the knowledge, it have the experience, right? So first of all, figure out what's your problem. What is it that you are trying to solve, right? And then solve it with the AI. This could be voice agents, that could not be voice agents, right? So hopefully you like the video and I will see you in the next one.